Welcome back to Mighty Habits, the place to be if you want to build better habits.
Yeah.
And my name's Stephen.
And I'm Mary.
And we are so excited for this deep dive.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about a book that I think a lot of people have at least heard of.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People
A classic.
by Stephen Covey. This book has sold millions and millions of copies, and it's been hugely influential.
It's interesting because I think one of the reasons why it's been so impactful is that it doesn't really focus on like quick fixes or hacks.
Right.
It's really more about building a foundation of principles.
And I think one of the most important things that it kind of gets at is this idea that effectiveness isn't something that you're just born with or you're not.
Exactly.
It's something that is developed.
It's a result of learned habits.
Yeah.
So it's not some innate trait.
Right.
It's something that you can cultivate and learn.
So that's exciting. I mean, it means that like we're not stuck.
Yeah.
Like if we have bad habits, we can change those.
You can rewire yourself for greater effectiveness.
I like that.
Yeah.
Rewire yourself.
Uh-huh.
So how do we rewire ourselves?
Well, that's where the 7 habits come in.
Okay.
That's what this book is all about.
All right.
It's basically a framework, a step-by-step guide to develop these habits of highly effective people.
So let's dive into that framework. What is habit number 1?
Habit number 1 is be proactive.
Okay.
And this is all about taking responsibility for your own life.
Okay.
It's about shifting from a reactive mindset where you're constantly just responding to things that are happening to a proactive mindset where you are consciously choosing your actions.
I like that.
And shaping your own destiny.
So what does that look like in real life?
Well, you know, we all know people who seem to blame everyone else for their problems.
Right.
How do we break out of that reactive cycle and become more proactive?
Yeah.
One way is to focus on what you can control. So instead of dwelling on things that are outside of your influence, you concentrate your energy on making choices and taking actions that align with your goals and values.
So, for example, if you miss a deadline at work, you don't blame it on your coworkers.
Exactly.
Or a faulty internet connection.
You own your mistakes.
Right.
You learn from them and you figure out a plan so it doesn't happen again.
So it's really about taking ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. So what's habit number 2?
Habit number 2 is begin with the end in mind.
Okay.
And this one encourages us to really define our goals and values to guide our decisions and actions.
It's like having a map.
Yes, exactly.
Before you start a journey.
You need to know where you're going.
Otherwise, you could end up anywhere.
Yeah, you'll just be wandering aimlessly.
Okay, so this is about having a clear vision for your life.
Yes, both personally and professionally.
And making sure that your choices reflect that vision.
Yeah, and it should be rooted in your core values.
The things that are most important to you.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you live in alignment with your values, you're more likely to feel fulfilled. And make decisions that lead to long-term happiness.
This one resonates with me a lot because I think it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and kind of lose sight of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So having that compass can be really helpful.
Absolutely.
So what is habit number 3?
Habit number 3 is put first things first.
Okay.
And this one focuses on prioritization and time management.
Okay.
It's about making sure that you're spending your time and energy on the things that truly matter.
So this is where things start to get really practical.
Yeah.
Because we all have the same 24 hours.
Right.
But some people just seem to get so much more done.
Exactly.
So how do we master time management?
Well, Covey emphasizes the importance of prioritizing tasks based on their importance and urgency.
Okay.
Not everything that screams for your attention actually deserves it.
Okay.
It's about focusing on the important but not necessarily urgent tasks.
The things that move us towards our long-term goals.
Precisely.
So instead of just reacting to emails and putting out fires all the time, we should carve out time for those strategic activities that really matter.
Yes.
Okay. But how do we avoid feeling overwhelmed by everything?
Well, Covey recommends breaking down large goals into smaller, more manageable steps.
Okay.
And then scheduling those into your week.
I see.
This way you feel a sense of accomplishment as you check things off your list.
So it's about breaking things down and getting those small wins.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've talked about being proactive, defining our goals, and managing our time.
Right.
What's the next habit?
Habit number 4 is think win-win.
Ah, yes. Win-win.
Yeah.
It sounds good in theory.
It does.
But in practice, I sometimes struggle with it.
I understand.
Especially, in competitive environments.
Right.
It's not always easy to see how to apply it.
Well, and Covey would say that win-win isn't just about being nice.
Right.
It's really a strategic approach to building relationships. And achieving mutually beneficial outcomes.
Okay.
And he actually outlines several paradigms of human interaction.
Okay.
And win-win is just one of them.
Interesting. So tell me about these other paradigms.
Okay, so besides win-win, you have win-lose.
Okay.
This is where one person succeeds
Uh-huh.
at the expense of another.
Okay.
So this happens a lot in negotiations or competitions.
Right, where one person gets a bigger slice of the pie.
Right.
Doesn't matter what happens to the other person.
Exactly. And then you have lose-win.
Okay.
Which is the opposite.
So you're sacrificing your own needs.
Yeah, you're basically giving in.
To please the other person.
Right, which often leads to resentment.
Yeah, I've definitely been there.
And then there's lose-lose.
Ooh, that sounds bad.
Which is where nobody wins.
Okay.
Everyone ends up worse off.
I've been there too.
Yeah, this often happens when conflicts escalate and communication breaks down.
Right, so everybody's unhappy.
Exactly.
So how do we avoid those negative paradigms?
It starts with a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing interactions as zero-sum games,
Where only one person can win.
we need to look for solutions that create value for everyone.
Okay, so that requires empathy.
Yes.
And understanding the other person's needs.
Exactly.
And that leads us to habit number 5.
Yes. Habit number 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood.
This sounds like it goes hand in hand with win-win.
It does.
You can't really find solutions that benefit everyone if you don't understand where they're coming from.
Exactly.
It's they need.
Covey emphasizes the importance of truly listening to others.
Okay.
Not just waiting for your turn to speak.
I think we've all been in those conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're just thinking about what you're going to say next.
Right. You're not really paying attention.
Yeah.
And that leads to misunderstandings.
Yeah.
Conflicts.
Missed opportunities.
Missed opportunities, exactly.
So how do we become better listeners?
Well, one key is to listen with the intent to understand.
Okay.
Not to respond or rebut. Pay attention to their body language, their tone of voice, the emotions they're expressing.
You have to really be present.
Yeah.
And try to see the world through their eyes.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so then once you've done that...
Then you can share your own thoughts and feelings.
In a way that they'll be more receptive to.
Right.
Yeah, okay. This is making me think about all those meetings I've been in.
Yeah.
Where everybody's just talking over each other,
right.
Trying to win the argument.
And nobody's listening.
Yeah.
And that's a classic lose-lose situation.
It is.
But when we approach conversations with a genuine desire to understand, we create space for dialogue, collaboration, and win-win solutions.
That's powerful.
It is.
Okay, so we've covered the first 5 habits.
Right.
Which lay a strong foundation for personal and interpersonal effectiveness.
Yes.
So what are the final 2 habits that can take us to the next level?
Well, habit number 6 is synergize.
Synergize.
Yes.
So this builds on the previous habits.
It does.
To unlock the power of teamwork.
Yes. Teamwork and creative cooperation.
So it's more than just teamwork.
It is.
It's about creating something greater than the sum of its parts.
Exactly.
Okay.
When people with different perspectives and skills come together with mutual respect and trust, they can achieve amazing results.
It's like that saying 2 heads are better than 1.
Right.
But it's more than that.
It's about valuing and leveraging the diversity of thought, experience, and expertise.
So instead of trying to make everyone think the same way, we should encourage different perspectives.
Yes. Open discussions, debate, even constructive conflict.
To spark innovation.
Yes, exactly.
So it's about creating an environment where people feel safe.
Right.
To share their ideas.
To challenge assumptions. To build on each other's contributions.
So this is really important in today's world.
It is.
Where collaboration is essential.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got one more habit left.
Yes. Habit number 7 is sharpen the saw.
Okay.
And this one focuses on self-renewal and continuous improvement.
Okay.
In all areas of life.
So this is about taking care of ourselves.
Yes.
It's easy to get so caught up in achieving goals and meeting deadlines.
Right.
That we forget to take care of our well-being.
Exactly. And Covey uses the analogy of a lumberjack who is so busy sawing down trees that he doesn't take the time to sharpen his saw. And as a result, his work becomes less and less efficient.
I see.
And it's the same for us. If we don't take the time to renew our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual energy, we will burn out and become less effective in all areas of our lives.
It's like trying to run a marathon without ever stopping.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to hit a wall eventually.
You will.
Okay, so sharpening the saw means engaging in activities that nourish our bodies, minds, and spirits.
Yes.
Could be Exercise, meditation,
Rain.
spending time in nature.
Connecting with loved ones.
Anything that helps us recharge
Yes.
and feel our best.
Absolutely.
This is such an important message, especially in today's world.
Where burnout is so common.
Right. It's a reminder that self-care is not selfish.
Right.
It's essential.
It's essential for sustained effectiveness.
I love that.
And well-being.
So we've journeyed through all 7 habits.
Yes, they have.
From being proactive to sharpening the saw.
It's a powerful framework.
It is a really impressive framework.
Yeah.
But where do we go from here?
Right. That's the question.
How do we take all this knowledge
Uh-huh.
and put it into practice in our daily lives?
Well, the 7 habits are not just concepts to be memorized.
Right.
They're principles to be lived.
Okay.
And that requires conscious effort,
Okay.
self-reflection, and a willingness to experiment
I like that.
and adapt.
So it's a journey.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Not a destination, yeah.
And it's a journey that's unique to each individual.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another.
So the key is to find what resonates with you.
Yes.
And start small.
Start small.
And build from there.
Exactly.
So maybe choose one habit that feels particularly relevant
Yeah.
to your current challenges.
Uh-huh.
And focus on integrating that into your daily routine.
Yes.
And then once you've made some progress, move on to another one.
Exactly.
Okay, and it's not about being perfect.
No, we all slip up.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
The important thing is to be patient with ourselves.
Yes.
Be kind to yourself.
Learn from those mistakes. And just keep striving to align our actions with these principles.
Right. It's about progress, not perfection.
I like that.
Yeah.
Progress, not perfection. Okay, well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
But as with all of our deep dives, we've only scratched the surface.
Yes. There's so much depth and nuance to this book that we couldn't possibly cover it all in a single conversation.
Right.
So I highly encourage our listeners to check out the full book.
If you're looking for a more concise overview, there are some great summaries out there.
Yes, there are. That can give you the key takeaways.
Absolutely.
But either way, engaging with the 7 habits is a worthwhile investment.
Yes.
For anyone who's looking to become more effective.
Absolutely.
Both personally and professionally.
It's a book that can truly change your life.
That's a bold statement.
It is, but it's true.
But you have to be willing to put in the work.
Yes, you do.
So before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a challenge.
Okay.
Covey says that effectiveness is a choice.
Uh-huh.
It's a set of habits that we can cultivate.
Through conscious effort.
So I challenge you to ask yourself,
okay,
what one habit, if you practiced it consistently, could have the biggest positive impact on your life?
That's a great question.
What do you think?
I think it's a question that's worth pondering.
It is.
And I would love to hear our listeners' thoughts.
Yeah.
So feel free to share your reflections with us on social media.
We love hearing from you.
Yes, we do.
And of course, be sure to subscribe to Mighty Habits